At this NetSetGO information session, we're going to talk about our team at Netball Vic, as well as briefly run over what is NetSetGO, what are the tiers, because there is quite a lot of confusion out there. Even if you are a NetSetGO centre currently, you might still be trying to work it out yourself. The participant pathways, NetSetGO packs and equipment, My Netball, the new NetSetGO online shop, terminology, promoting your centre, events and resources. So in the development team, you've got Tanya Gamble. So she's the community and junior netball manager. And then you've got myself being the junior netball coordinator. So our team deliver the webinars, information sessions, coach training, Victoria collateral, centre visits, Suncorp Super Netball experiences, NetSetGO Week and further initiatives. Our goal as a team is to build NetSetGO centres capacity as well as capability. So if you're ever interested in coach training or need that little bit more of support when it comes to growing your NetSetGO centre, I'd be the one to be reached out to help you guys out. And then we've got our administration team. So our administration team work closely with all of our affiliates. So that includes associations, leagues, centres, clubs, you name it. And the administration work with My Netball support, approved NetSetGO centres, pack inquiries, equipment inquiries, voucher inquiries, and they're contactable through that NetSetGO email as well as via that phone number. So in that team, we've got Jen Camilleri, who's the affiliate services manager, and then we've also got Lachey Gary, who's here with me. So you may have had a call from her if you've been approved for 2020 this year. Or if you've eventually put in a NetSetGO application, then she'll be the one to contact you to help you out. All things My Netball. So what is NetSetGO? So NetSetGO is the official starter program for netball. It's designed by Netball Australia for children between 5 to 10. And it's also fun, friendly, and it's a welcoming environment. So when it comes to NetSetGO as well, yes, Netball Australia do design it, but then it's up to us as, state bodies to then assist you, to help you guys out, building your capacity and capability, of course, as well as running those events that I briefly mentioned before. So the NetSetGO tiers. Firstly, I should have started by saying NetSetGO is broken down into 3 tiers. So the first being the net tier, which is the target age is around 5 to 6. Now, before I get into too much information here, I just wanted to let you know that we will touch base on it in a couple more slides. So don't think I'm just going to skip over it that quickly. We've got the set tier. So set age is targeted around that 7 to 8-year-old mark. And then we've got Go. So Go being that 9 to 10-year-old. So when it comes to the tier ages, they're just a suggestion. So that even if it's saying, set is that 7 to 8-year-old mark, if you've got a 6-year-old that's really, really, going well, has the skills, has the mental capacity to be a part of a set program, place them in there. It's all about what you're delivering essentially and whether or not that suits that participant. So that's why they're just a suggestion, skill, age, coordination, you name it. And it's up to you as a coach or a centre coordinator to establish where they might fit in. So going back to the net tier, so it is a beginner program, so that's where you get all your littlies, so the 5 to 6-year-olds running around. It's teaching them the fundamental motor skills, so passing, catching, basic stepping, the works. And then it's all about minor games and activities. So participants at that age, all they want to do is have fun, come along with their friends, and then go home and tell mum and dad how much fun they had playing this game or doing this and doing that. So it might not be specific netball games or development skills, but things such as tail tag or corner ball, you're still teaching them that movement and how to work as a team. Hopefully that makes sense. So the set tier. So you're still refining those fundamental motor skills. You're still doing those netball activities, of course. And then lastly, you're introducing modified match play. So modified match play is things like corner ball, as I just suggested before, and games that incorporate, you know, a netball match, but it might not be a full court netball game. Remembering that these participants are young and they're not going to be standing there at one end of the court watching the ball shoot at the other end forever. They want to be involved, so you really got to make sure that it's modified for them. So with the Go tier, so it's developing the netball specific skills, modified match play, of course, and modified rules. Now we do have a lot of questions about the Go tier, so that's why we're going to address it a little bit further here. But, you know, it's still all about it having fun, but here you're actually playing, you know, netball matches. They're modified in different means. So all under 9 competitions must be Go competitions. So that means all under 9 participants must register to be in that Go tier. And that's why some NetSetGO centres may just have a Go tier so their kids can be a part of that under 9 competition. And it's modified rules. So the modified rules are things such as, you know, the smaller goal posts or smaller quarters, etc. We'll touch on that in a bit. We also have the modified rules on the Netball Victoria website, which I'll show you near the end of this presentation. So modified match play. So these are those modified rules I was just talking about. Goal posts, so it may mean a shorter ring. Ball size, so those size 4 NetSetGO balls. Time, so like I said, shorter quarters. And umpiring. So umpiring is really, really important. You want your umpires to be super helpful, super patient, and have, you know, that nice friendly tone. You don't want them to be telling off a child for stepping and then not correcting them and helping them out about how to fix that next time. You're still wanting a fun environment for these kids to then participate later on in their junior years. But yeah, you're slowly refining those skills, but also their understanding of the rules. So hopefully that makes sense. Also, when it comes to those modified areas, to run an under 9 competition, it doesn't mean every single one of these components need to be modified. It might just be 1 or 2. You might also find that at the start of the season, you're really, really, you know, relaxed and the umpires are giving a lot of way. So, you know, children might be stepping a lot, or you're not 3 feet in front of the ball, etc. But then by the end of the season, umpires are picking it up because the participants have learnt the rules by that time and they're ready for junior competition. So the NetSetGO participant pathways. So of course, if you start up as a NetSetGO participant, and then you might join a club and play net or set, or an association or league and play net or set, or a private provider. So a private provider could be someone like a school, a YMCA, or just a local community group. Then they go into that under 9 Go competition, which we just discussed. And essentially that Go competition is, of course, to get them ready for junior competition. And so they know those rules, they have the skills to play and be involved with everyone else. And then they continue on to the Netball Victoria pathway, hopefully one day potentially become a Vixen or a Diamond, you name it. So NetSetGO packs. In 2020, NetSetGO participants will receive a NetSetGO t-shirt as well as a custom Suncorp Super Netball. We will also have a Suncorp Super Netball ticket offer which will be released hopefully in March. The details will all be around that time, so I don't have them on me just yet, unfortunately. A couple of really, really key things to note about 2020 is that when participants register for the very, very first time, that's when it will ask for that option to customise the back of their t-shirt through your registration link. So I'll just repeat what I said to make it more clear, is when a participant is registering for the very first time in 2020, it'll give them the option to customise their t-shirt with their name on it. So the name appears right on the back at the top in the red lettering like the sleeves in the t-shirt. And it's for an extra fee of $5. Yeah. But yeah, only on that first registration. So we really recommend putting that in any descriptions that you can when you're promoting your registration link. Also, they have the option to select a custom Suncorp Super Netball. So when it asks what their favourite SSN team is, and then, for example, if I select the Vixens, I'll be sent that Vixens coloured ball. So hopefully that makes sense to everyone. It is really exciting because it's the first time it's happened, and hopefully we'll be seeing lots of different colour balls, or in Victoria, mainly Vixens and Magpies, of course. Another awesome thing about 2020, I should say, is the packs are expected to arrive within 7 to 10 business days for that metro area. When it comes to the regional spaces, it might be an extra 1 or 2, I've been told, but it's a much shorter time than previous years, which is super exciting. And yeah, awesome for your participants as well. As I've said at the very start as well, if you have any questions, make sure you pop it into that chat feature so Lachey can answer them. I'm having a bit of trouble, so I can't actually see the chat feature, but Lachey's all on board and all over it, so she'll be able to help you guys out. So NetSetGO equipment. New NetSetGO centres will receive a starter kit, and this starter kit you will order through the NetSetGO online shop, which I'll show you soon. And then returning NetSetGO centres will be rewarded credits, and they're to use on that new NetSetGO online shop. If you've registered for 2020, you may have had a quick sneaky look at it. It is super exciting, and it is something that Netball Australia has just introduced. The NetSetGO credits, they follow 4 principles. So first, eligibility. So 10 participants are required to register for your program for you to then receive the credits. What you might notice is that you've already been approved for 2020, or you get approved, so you're expecting, you know, those $35 of credits to appear straight away if you're a returning centre. They won't appear until those 10 participants are registered. If you are a small centre and you might be located regionally, we are working with Netball Australia to see what's the best option possible, especially since a lot of our centres have, you know, 15 or less participants. Like I said, especially if you're located regionally and have a small community in that area. But yes, so 10 participants, once you've hit that, you will then receive $35 worth of credit, which is under that loyalty section. If you are hitting your milestone year, so 10, 20 or 30, you'll have double credits. So for example, instead of 35, it'll be 70, the works. The third one is number of participants. So for every NetSetGoer that registers, you'll receive $1. And then lastly, if you're running all 3 tiers, you'll have a bonus $15 worth of credit. Now, we completely understand that not everyone runs all 3 tiers, and you're definitely not expected to, especially considering it's a lot of the time it's not possible for smaller clubs, and it's, you know, it's hard to do that. So please don't think that you're expected to. All right, this time I'm going to look back into my netball. So we're going to run through a NetSetGo registration, the shop, assigning a coach, and other bits and pieces. So give me 1 second while I share to a new screen. Hopefully that has worked. Awesome. So I'm just in Western Netball competition at the moment, who I've got access to, which is great. And then I'm just going to start off really fresh in the home button. So if you're a NetSetGo coordinator or an admin of My Netball, you should probably, you know, you'd be familiar with this screen. Since Western Netball competition is classified as an association, I also have the option for this management button over here. If you were a club, you just have nothing in this section. Now, before I start, NetSetGo is in a completely different space to junior and senior competition. It's something that Lachey and I often get asked about, so it's probably the most important thing to take away from this. If you are familiar with My Netball, you'd know what a product is. You never want to make NetSetGo membership a product. It's a big no-no in our eyes. So firstly, we're going to go into programs. And then on the left-hand side, NetSetGo Centre registration. Your NetSetGo Centre registration is essentially creating your sign-up form for participants. Now, I've just completed my NetSetGo Centre registration purely so we could go through this as quick as possible and so I don't take too much of your time. So that's why you'll notice quite a few things filled out. So we've got our season as 2020. I always recommend if you're switching from, previous seasons back and forth to always press go after you hit that 2020 mark. And then scrolling down, the first section we have is the coordinator details. So you can see I've got my name here, so Tara Chalios, and then I've also inserted the email address. One thing to really take note of is these details appear in that NetSetGo Centre map. So if you're someone that doesn't want your mobile there shared to the world, I highly recommend not putting it here. The NetSetGo Centre map is accessed by the public. So yeah, please be mindful of that. So scrolling down, and then we've got select a venue. So I was lucky there was already a venue for me to select, which I have done so. This venue appears on the NetSetGo Centre map. So if you don't have the address right, you're not going to appear. I'll show you in a second where that map is found. I know I keep talking about it, but yes, we will get there. If I wanted to add a different venue or want to see what's going on, I'd just go into Manage Venues. I can see I was in that VU Court 2, so I'm going to go Edit along here and then see the information that I've popped in. So I've got my name, my street address, suburb, state, country, etc. That's all right. And then at the very end here, it's displaying, it's inaccurate. You can't find my address. What I recommend is adding the latitude and longitude. I know that sounds a bit crazy, but it's easier than you might think it is. Jump onto Google, just search latitude and longitude finder, and then it'll ask you to type in your address and it'll give you those details. Once you've got those details, just add it into here and press save. 9 times out of 10, you then appear on the NetSetGo Centre map and there's no problems. I'm going to scroll back up. So back to venue management. If your venue doesn't appear here, that's when you go to add a new venue at the top here and start adding those details like I've done before. So yeah, really, really important. I'm just going to go back into that NetSetGo Centre registration now. But it's really, really important if your NetSetGo Centre isn't appearing on that map and everything's active and ready to go, make sure you check out your address. And I recommend, entering that latitude and longitude as well. Next section is the registration day details. Now, this is quite old and is more so applies for other states, but a registration day is essentially a day for people to go visit and help get signed up for, your NetSetGo program. Since Victoria, everything's online and all payments are online, we don't need a registration day necessarily. So we usually don't recommend having any information here at all. If you are having a registration day, of course, put it in, but majority of centres, clubs, associations, leagues, the works, don't run them anymore because, like I said, everything's online and it's online payments as well. So we can just keep that blank. Scrolling down again. So we've got this add new program. So a program is similar to a product as such. So you can see that my program is a net program. So that's my net tier. And I've listed the dates as the 1st of the 1st, and then the end date is the 19th of the 2nd. I've also got my cost at $68. Now that's the minimum membership fee for 2020. I open up my net tier program, which I've just added before. You can see the type, the start time, activity start date. Now the day of the week, the reason why I can't change this is because it goes by the activity start date. With your cost as well, you need to make sure that you include the Netball Victoria membership, so that's $68, with any club fees that you're charging as well. So for example, if you're a club that's requiring to charge $100, you'd set the price as $168 here, knowing that $68 will be spent towards that NetSetGo membership. Later on in the year, when you're adding other programs, make sure you're still keeping that membership there. People that have already got a NetSetGo membership aren't going to pay that again. So for example, if later on in the year I decide to run another program and I'm charging $168 and a participant signing up who's already got a membership for 2020, what will happen is when they go to register, instead of it having the full $168 payment showing, that it will be a dash through it and it will just have the $100 of club fees remaining. Now we've got our online registration open date. So this is from when participants can register through your registration link, so for your program. And then we've also got the online registration close date here. Your registration limit is how many people you want to be able to register for your program. So for example, if you've only got a half a cohort, you're not going to want 100 kids to be able to register. So you'd limit it to what is your maximum capacity. If you're a NetSetGo centre that is participating in a Go competition, this area would apply to you. So it's essentially asking you who are your participants attached to. So what association are they playing for? So for example, if I was a club called Tara and I've got kids playing under Western Netball, Western Netball would come up as an option under here and I just click on them. Just so they've got access to their participants' details. The registration period, of course, is 2020 because that's when people are registering for. And then this active button is really important. This means that your participants will be able to register for your program. If this is unticked, then of course participants can't register for your program, but also your program won't appear on the NetSetGo Centre map. When it comes to your tier, I recommend putting something specific about your program in here. So whether that is the coach that's running it, the venue that it'll be at, just to, to help people out even further, or this program's for 5 to 6 year olds who are new to netball, etc. Any great description is greatly valued by parents. So yeah, highly, highly recommend it. And then lastly, we've got our coach, which is myself. Now, if a coach does not appear here, I'll go through how to add a coach to your program in a second. If you do make any changes, just make sure that you always press update and then scroll to the very, very bottom, noticing that red line that's coming up with text. That's just saying that I've made changes and I haven't saved yet. So I'm going to scroll to the bottom and go update changes. And then we can see those items updated successfully. Now I'm going to scroll back to where I got up to. So we can still see our net program there. Like I said, if I was going to add another program later on in the year, you just go add new program, add in all those details, making sure that the NetSetGo membership and the club fees are all included in that one price, and then save it at the very, very bottom of the screen. Okay, next section. So this is all the delivery details. So as it says, this isn't public to the website. So you are able to insert, your mobile here, and it's not as if you're going to be contacted by the public. So I've got my first name, my last name, and my phone number. And then when it comes to the business name, so I don't own a business, so I don't have a business name. If you're the same, then just add your NetSetGo Centre name here as the business name. Of course, add any delivery instructions, and then the address that you wish for things to be delivered to. Now, if there's something wrong with the NetSetGo packs being sent out to the participants, you may find a couple of NetSetGo packs turning up at your door, and that's because your delivery address is the return to sender address. So if you do have any packs, arrive at your door, it should have the NetSetGo participant's name on it, and you can just hand it to them when you get the chance at the next training. Once you've done all that, just make sure that you've ticked everything like I've had and update changes. And then the next tab to take note of is the registration setup. So click on that. Now I'm going to scroll down to the welcome page top description. Now this also provides me another area that I can add information to. So I might want to say, you know, Western Netball's program is at VU University, and I've got Coach Maddie who's running it. It's for 5 to 10-year-olds, etc., etc. Like I said before, the more detailed, the more helpful you're going to be for any parents that are trying to sign up for your program. Exit out of that one. And then I'm scrolling down again to payment gateway. So all NetSetGO centres required to be on the NPS disbursement gateway in 2020. It's something that Lachey checks every time that NetSetGO centre is applying to become a centre. What it means is, if I use the same example as before, so if someone's paying $168 and that $68 is the Netball Vic NetSetGO membership and the remaining $100 is those club fees, instead of the $168 being sent to the club, the $68 membership is sent directly to Netball Victoria and then the $100 remaining to the club. So it means that we no longer require to invoice, and it also saves your administration time by stacks, I'm sure. Now, because everything is online, of course, we don't want this offline payment section ticked, nor do we want the apply to offline payments here. So the only section that needs to be ticked is the apply to online payments. And we have the fixed charge and the variable charge here. Now, what these mean is when a participant registers through My Netball, there is a small transaction fee. So by having these numbers here, it means that the participant actually has to pay for that. If you had $0, then it means that your NetSetGO centre would have to pay for that instead. So that's why we always recommend having the fixed charge and the variable charge in here, which is that 0.31 for the fixed charge and the 1.78 for the variable charge. Now the currency format, make sure you're just keeping this a $sign and you're not actually adding your program fee here. If you added your program fee here, it would times it by your actual program fee that you've listed in the tiers. So you just want it as that $sign. And then of course it's GST and then just that 10.0 there. These pop up automatically though, so you don't need to stress. Scrolling down. And then we do have the option to add saleable items. There are quick reference guides on that. So we will send this out after this webinar. We'll send you out an email about where to find all these resources to help you out. But if you're a NetSetGO centre that might be a part of a Go competition and also want your participants to purchase a dress as well, that's where you'd add this into here. I'm just going to save just in case I made any changes. Awesome. So that's the main priorities that you need to look through when you're creating your NetSetGO centre application, or even if you've already created it, it may be worth going back, just making sure that everything's correct. Like I said before, essentially it is your sign-up form. So it's what people see when they go to register for your program. Now there's two ways that you can find your registration link. The first way is if I scroll down to my NetSetGO tier, my net tier, and I select View, you can see I've got my Western Netball competition, welcome to NetSetGO, and I scroll down a little bit more. I can see that test purpose only description that I've added into that. Ooh, hang on one second, I'm going back here now. And the second option is if I'm scrolling up, you go into registration setup, scroll to the very, very, very bottom, and then you've got that public link here. So if I press on that public link, the same thing, Western Netball competition, welcome to NetSetGO, test purpose only, but you can see here my product, so it's my net program. You can also see the description I've added in here. So this is where I'm saying it may be really beneficial for you to add who's the coach of your program, what's the age for it that you're recommending for participants to register to, and other bits and pieces that will make it more clear for parents when they're registering their children. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm just trying to work something out. Perfect. All right. Now, before I did mention that sometimes when you're in your NetSetGO program and you're trying to add a coach, they may not always appear underneath this. The reason for that is because they don't have a coach attached to their My Netball profile, so coach as a role, I should say. So the way that you add junior coach as a role to their name is by going people, person search if they've previously registered for your My Netball profile. So for example, if I've registered for Western Netball competition even 5 years ago, I'd still be in their system. So I know that's the case, so I'm gonna type in my name here. I'll go search, press on that edit icon to the right-hand side. And then at the very, very top, go to activity, roles, and you can see that I've already got junior coach here. If if someone doesn't have junior coach here, that's where you'd go into role, team official, select junior coach, and just add it to that. So this is for when the coach isn't appearing in that NetSetGO program, so in that tier bit. Now, if they've never been a part of your program before, they've never been a part of your club, association, leagues, profile, etc., what you're going to need to do is go to add a new person. And I'm just going to use Lachey's name. Oh, if I can type her name, that is. Search, hopefully there's only one of them, so it makes it easy for me. I can see that this is Lachey here, so if I select transfer, scroll down, yet again it asks me to add a role, so team official, junior coach, and then just transfer across like that. Now this won't impact their profile in any way, it's not going to charge them anything more. All Lachey will receive is an email saying that someone's transferred you to be a junior coach. All right, so back into programs. Now that we're in programs, you would have also, potentially you would have noticed that there's this NetSetGO equipment shop option. So I'm going to press on this, and then it's going to let me go to the shop. And then we've got this new fancy feature, the Welcome to Suncorp Online, Welcome to the Suncorp NetSetGO Online Shop. So as I mentioned at the very start of this presentation, it's new, so it's just starting in 2020, and it's where centres, participants, coaches, the works can purchase NetSetGO branded equipment for their programs, especially those modified equipment such as the smaller balls, etc. So if I scroll down, it's going to ask me, who am I shopping as? So I can say, all right, I'm the coach, and it might tailor the products for what a coach might want. What you will notice is there is a lot of coming back soon. The reason for that is because it's not everything is going to be in the shop until January next year. They're just still refining a couple of things and making sure they've got enough stock for the whole nation. Now I'm going to scroll back up. I'm going to go shop now, just to show you a little bit of what is actually going to be in the shop, of course. So we've got our new NetSetGO certificates that are downloadable. You can see that there's $0 here as well. We've got our session plans, some of our posters that can be used, spiky balls, skipping ropes, the works, whistles, and the water bottles. It may be a really good idea to thank coaches at the end of the season and purchase them a whistle, etc. Hats, lunch boxes. Ooh. Hang on 1 second, guys. Lachey's just let me know. All right, can you all see the NetSetGO online shop now? Perfect. Sorry about that, guys. We're a bit late to that one. I'm going to restart though, but Once I jumped onto that link, this is the first page that pops up. So you've got the welcome to Suncorp NetSetGo online shop. You can see I've got that Western Netball competition in the top right-hand corner as well. What I was saying when you couldn't see me is if I scroll down, it'll ask you if you're an organizer, a coach, a parent that works, and then depending on what I press on is what options it'll appear tailored for me. So if I scroll back up, I'm going to go shop now. As you would have heard me say, we've got the certificates, the Facebook banner, the session plans, which are really, really valuable. I highly recommend using them for your programs. If we continue scrolling down, we've got all sorts of equipment. This is the whistle that I suggested that might be a nice treat for your NetSetGo coaches at the end of the season, and other bits and pieces as well. One thing to take note of, which is really, really exciting, is it's the first time that allows participants to actually purchase a NetSetGo ball, or especially a NetSetGo top if they have got the wrong one or have lost them, or we've had calls where dad's ruined it by ironing it and burning it, the works. So they can jump onto here and purchase that new equipment. If I go onto the SSN Club Netball and go shop now, it'll ask me to select a team. So I'm just going to go Fever. And you can see what that ball is going to look like there. So super, super exciting. I'll go back into that homepage now of the NetSetGo online shop. Now you will notice at the top right-hand corner, I've got $0 credit. That's because there's been no NetSetGo registrations for Western Netball competition. Credit will start appearing once you've hit those 10 registrations, and it usually takes around 24 hours to actually process as well. So if you notice that you've hit those 10 registrations and there's still nothing, give it 24 hours or so. If you still think there's an issue though, then we've got a new support team for you guys to contact for all things NetSetGo equipment, packs, credits. They're the specialists in it now, which is super exciting for us as well. So if you scroll to the very, very bottom and go contact customer support, you just place your first name, last name, email, order number if that's applicable, state, category, etc., and then just send them a message through. Then they'll be able to support you with your query. As I said at the start of the presentation, the packs duration, so when they're going to actually arrive, is a lot shorter for 2020, which is really exciting. So hopefully you won't get as many, where's my pack questions, or it's been 3 weeks, I still haven't arrived it. I mean, that still hasn't arrived. So hopefully all those questions will drop off. But you can still direct your participants to this screen as well. I'll show you in a second where the NetSetGo online shop can be accessed through the Netball Victoria website. Just on that, so if we, one more thing. The equipment is based in Victoria, so it means that it's going to be much more faster delivery. We're expecting, once you place an order, for it to come within a fortnight. In saying that, when you do place an order, you'll receive a confirmation email as well as an estimated delivery of when everything will actually arrive, especially if you've got quite a large order and there might be a couple of items that are in stock and ready to go to be shipped out, or another that might take a couple of days. But yeah, it is based in Victoria, so hopefully it's much faster for us. Now, if I press on Western Netball competition at the top here and go into my account, you can see my dashboard, so all my recent orders, which is nothing. You've got the contact information, so myself, and then if I scroll down, I've got the shipping address here. So all this information has been taken from that NetSetGo Centre application. So all those delivery address details. If you don't want it to be sent here though, don't worry. When you go to purchase something, it does give you that option to change it. But yeah, most of the time people's delivery address is correct and you don't need to change it. So that's why they've just made it an automatic thing that occurs now. All right, so as I've showed you, this NetSetGo online shop can be accessed through My Netball, and it's the only way NetSetGo centres are able to access it to show that credit. If you do have any questions or go have a look at it when you jump on your computer, etc., make sure you flick them through to Lachey or myself through that email or that NetSetGo phone so we can help you guys out. All right, I'm going to jump out of this now. Hopefully it lets me share back to my PowerPoint. Awesome. All right, so distributing the registration link. So the registration link is recommended to be distributed via email. So that's if you've got the list of emails from previous years. We always recommend, you know, sending out that, oh, 2020 Western Netball's back, come join, etc. Another way that's really, really important is through social media. So potentially, you know, on Facebook, having a photo of NetSetGo and saying, hey, click here to register for our upcoming program. And then the website, of course, as well. Making sure that if you are putting your registration link on your website, as well as your junior, senior link, etc., you really highlight that there is a difference between them because we don't want participants to get confused. And then lastly, your NetSetGo registration link can be found through that NetSetGo Centre search as well. Correct terminology. So Lachey and I hear all sorts of terminology when it comes to NetSetGo. The correct terminology is NetSetGo, so capital N, S, and then go. When you're describing the tiers, so, you know, still capital N, S, and then capital Go for the tiers. Suncorp NetSetGo as well. And then if you're a part of a Go competition, it may be a Go competition or a Go round robin. It's really important if you're an association or a league and you are running that Go competition, you don't just call it under NICE. There is some NetSetGo component in there. Incorrect terminology, so that includes NetR, NetSetGo or lowercase, San Remo NetSetGo, and net-set-go with an exclamation mark. I have got these images from NetSetGo centres that still have the old imagery on their website, so it's really, really important to just make sure that you're sticking up to date and using that Suncorp NetSetGo imagery that's found online. Oh, sorry, and ANZ as well. All right, promoting your NetSetGo centre. So firstly, online. A lot of our more successful NetSetGo centres have a really great online content. So the content can be through their website as well as social media. So one thing to be aware of is that there is a NetSetGo Instagram. So if your club, association, league centre is on Instagram and you are posting anything NetSetGo, I highly recommend tagging that NetSetGo Instagram because you never know whether or not you might show up on there, and it just means more exposure for you guys, which is amazing. One thing that I would love for you all to do is after this presentation is just to have a search of your NetSetGo centre name and see what actually pops up online. I find it really beneficial going out with two people and, you know, doing the same thing with them. And if they're struggling to find your centre, how are you expecting parents to be able to find your centre after just hearing your name? So yeah, really, really important to make sure that that information is out there and online for people to see and view. Images are great as well. Second, so community engagement. Schools and community events are really, really important and great places to tap into. Schools love it when people come visit and say, hey, can we just deliver a come and try, and, you know, might do a NetSetGo session for your preps. If you do want assistance with that school space especially, we'd love to help you. So just flick an email through to netsetgo@netballvic.com. Also community events. So that might be like a school fair or a carnival or a festival. There's lots of Christmas festivals going on right now, so your community might be running one as well. So what I would love for you guys to think of is how can you engage with your community greater in 2020? Is it through schools? Is it through community events? What can you do to, you know, make your program that little bit more exposed in your area? Come and tries. So come and tries are a free trial period for new participants. and they're for no more than 4 sessions. They're really, really great for getting new participants involved that maybe, you know, already currently registered friend that are just too scared to purchase anything. And yeah, so ideas include bringing a friend, special events, or a trial at the very, very start of the program. You might have it that the first session of each term is a come and try, so everyone's welcomed, come on board. So the one key thing to be aware of is if you are running a come and try, it's really, really important to take down these details. If you do take down these details, then those participants will be covered by insurance. Exactly what I just said. All right, Suncorp Super Netball experiences. So we're lucky enough to provide a couple of lucky centres halftime performances, high fives, and pre-game matches. Now, of course, we've only got the Vixens that are in contact with Netball Victoria. Netball Victoria own the Vixens, which is fantastic, but there's only 7 home games a year. So there isn't too many opportunities to be able to provide NetSetGO centres the chance to attend game days. But if you are interested, please email netsetgo@netballvic.com.au so we can let you know the next steps involved. NetSetGO training. So, coach training. Netball Victoria deliver NetSetGO specific coach training throughout the year. It's free and it goes for 2 hours and there's a max of 30 participants per coach. They're really, really great to have an understanding of the NetSetGO tiers as well as what to deliver for that age group whilst keeping them involved and just, you know, happy and motivated to keep coming in each week. If you are interested in having NetSetGO coach training at your venue, please send us an email through so I can organise it with you and see if it's possible. Information sessions, so they're free. They go for a maximum of an hour and a half and they include elements of My Netball. So an information session is extremely similar to what we're doing right now. We're just doing a webinar, of course. Information sessions happen out at clubs and centres or associations and leagues who just might need more of that face-to-face support about what NetSetGO is, or even help about how to become a bigger and better program. And thirdly, we've got webinars. So yep, they're free, various topics, and we're running one right now. The amazing thing about webinars is that right now we're communicating to people all across Victoria, and you might be on the couch, you might be in bed, chilling out at home, but you're still learning valuable information. We can also run personal one-on-one videos and, you know, show you the ropes if you need that assistance as well. So feel free to reach out to us so we can help you out. Handy mobile apps. So firstly, the My Netball app. So it really is easy to use and it's free to download. And you can also find the NetSetGO registration link through there. When it comes to easy to use, I'm saying that in the terms of, finding the registration link. So if parents have trouble finding it online through websites, etc., which hopefully they don't since we just talked about how to distribute the registration link, but if they do, I do recommend getting them to download the My Netball app. It'll then ask you to just search your club, association, league, etc. in the top right-hand corner, and then all the links associated to them will pop up. Another handy app is the Safe Netball app. It reports issues with courts and it does the safety audits. It's more so for associations and leagues to consider downloading. It just helps to make sure that your courts are inspected before competition, etc. And lastly, so NetSetGO resources. So we've got the Netball Victoria website and the Play Netball website. So we're just going to jump onto them now. Hopefully you guys will be able to see it in 2 seconds time. All right, hopefully that's worked for everyone. Give me 1 second while I try and fix up my mouse. But yes, as you can see, we're on the Netball Victoria website. Now, everything to do with NetSetGO is under Get Involved, Play, and then Suncorp NetSetGO. So scrolling down, we've got Find a Centre, participant information, resource library, centre information, NetSetGo frequently asked questions, and pack information. And we also listed a couple of centres who are running Term 4 programs this year. Now, a really key area for you guys to be aware of is the resource library. So if I pop onto this now, and scrolling down, if I click on My Netball, so we've got all these My Netball resources, so assigning a role, the registration link, reg types, so that's specifically for association leagues, etc., as well as other resources. These are mostly our most common questions that we get asked, and that's why they're displayed here. We've also got the NetSetGo online shop. So we've got a resource that can be used by centres to help them out about how everything works. So I recommend when you go onto that NetSetGo online shop, having this resource open as well, just to make sure that you understand it thoroughly, and it also goes through the ordering process, etc. All right, I'm going to jump back out. So NetSetGo online shop again. We've got the NetSetGo online shop link. So this is where you can direct all those participants as well who may be wishing to purchase a ball. We are just trying to establish whether or not they receive a shop link when they go to register as a NetSetGo participant. But at the end of the day, it is up to Netball Australia, so we're just finalising that with them. So My Netball forms, this is more so for you new centres. So if you're completely new, you need to complete those forms. We've got collateral, so those posters and graphics, participation certificates, and then as well as a certificate of appreciation. So if I click on this one right now, it is really great to, hand these out to all those parents that may have helped you out with your program this year, or coaches as well. And yeah, they would love it, of course, as a thank you. All right, coaching. So we've got our NetSetGo session plans, but what I did touch on in the presentation was the modified rules summary. So I'm just going to click on that now. And you can see all those modified rules here. So if you're ever wanting to make sure that you are following the NetSetGo rules, I highly recommend checking these modified rules out, printing them off, having a read through. If you do have any questions, though, of course, come and give us a call or flick us an email through. So learning, so that's that Getting to Know NetSetGo online course. So the course is completely free, and when you go and log onto your My Netball profile, it's under the learning component of there. We do have a resource that helps you out about how to complete that Getting to Know NetSetGo course, which of course isn't on there, but Lachey and I will flick you an email about it once this webinar is completed. And lastly, inquiries. So we've got the Netball Victoria refund information. This NetSetGo pack inquiry form is soon to be deleted since we now have that customer support through the NetSetGo online shop. One other thing to note, so if I'm going to press on My Netball again, and scrolling down, so find further My Netball quick reference guide. So if I click here, these are a whole bunch of quick reference guides that Lachey's team has created, which is amazing. It's not specifically to do with NetSetGo, but it may be able to help you guys out as well in that junior senior space. So yeah, stacks of them on there. All right, in my next tab, so I prepped this earlier, but this is the NetSetGo Centre Map. I'll show you where it's found in a second. And you can see I've just put in my postcode and a whole stack of centres have come across everywhere. Now, this map isn't the most reliable, and we understand that. We've passed that feedback on to Netball Australia, and they are updating it. And Lachey mentioned it would be ready in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Yeah, 2 to 3 weeks. So what will happen is when participants go and add their postcode into it, instead of it just popping up as a map, it'll also have a list option of all the NetSetGo centres nearby. So it makes it much more easier for them to find the centre that suits them or the centre that they know of, instead of pressing on every single one of these tabs here. Now I'm just going to click on a random centre. So with assumption, you can see that the program details, we've got the coordinator name and the coordinator email. So that's those details that were appearing to the public. And I mentioned it's really important that you don't have your personal mobile there if you don't want it. What you may also notice is underneath here, sometimes it adds another person's information. That information is coming from the My Netball profile and the admin of that. Jumping out of there. All right, so that's that NetSetGO Centre map. Really important that you have that venue correct that we went over before. So I'm just going to go back, if it lets me hopefully. And I'll go from the start, but this is the Play Netball website. How I found that map is I went into Kids, Suncorp NetSetGO, sign up to play today, and then I just went on the process of my state, and then it asked me another detail such as my name, email address. So now for yourselves, once you're on this Play Netball website, what's really, really handy for you is if you go into organisers and then I run netball, scroll down, we've got our Get to Know Suncorp NetSetGO, so that's about that coaching element. We select Planned Your Suncorp NetSetGO sessions. We've got all those session plans here, so NetSetGO, the coach participant workbook, presenter's kit, coordinator handbook, modified rules summary. I really do recommend having a look through these session plans. It may not necessarily mean that you stick to the session plans week by week. I recommend just finding the sessions that suit your participants best. And then of course, we're slowly progressing so those participants are ready for that next level, whether that be set or, set to go or go into junior competition. Exiting out of that one. So if we go to the left-hand side, I want you guys to have a look at Promote Your Club. So scrolling down, we've got some of our Suncorp NetSetGO posters here. So these are editable, so you can add in your venues details, your session times, start date, the works, and just print it out and hang it up everywhere. So local schools, local shopping centres, anywhere that you can think of. Exit out of that one, and then keep scrolling down. You got more posters, of course, but we also have those social graphics. So this is to use on Facebook, Instagram, those settings. Go all the way to the bottom just so we make sure we get everything. And then, yeah, so they're the main components. I'm going to flick back into this presentation for our very last slide. But from here, what I want you all to think of is if you are currently a NetSetGO Centre or if you are wanting to become a NetSetGO Centre, so how can you become the best NetSetGO Centre? So are you promoting your program online, or are you promoting your program through the community? Are your coaches skilled and have gone to a coach training or are accredited? Are your participants having fun and having a great time? Because at the end of the day, participants and parents, everyone talk, and if Sally over here is having a fantastic time, she's going to go tell James, and then James is going to want to come and attend your program. If you do want assistance or further help, please contact us through netsetgo@netballvic.com.au or 93212246, which is Lachey's number. If it is in the coaching space though, that of course comes into my area, and hopefully this will work. Awesome. And then I'm more than happy to assist you. But that's what the presentation was. So hopefully you've learned a thing or two through there. If you do have any questions, please flick them through now. Lachey and I are happy to sit and hang out for the next 5 minutes to help answer them. Now I can actually see the chat, so at least I can answer them as I'm talking as well. But thank you for tuning in, and hopefully you all have a wonderful night. If you are done and dusted, just make sure to exit out of the chat so we know. But yeah, thanks everyone. Awesome. Thanks, guys. I'll be able to have a drink now. So, Kim, with your question, are you meaning the session plans? If so, I'll run you through it right now. Awesome. So, now, no problems at all. I'm just going to jump onto a different screen. Give me 2 seconds, and hopefully it's worked.
Yeah.
Awesome. So there's 2 ways to find them. Probably the easiest is going onto Netball Victoria's website. So just jumping onto here, I'm going to get involved, play, something called NetSetGO. So if we go into the resource library that I was talking about, we have all the links to the Play Netball website. Sorry, I might have done that a bit fast. I'll go back. But yeah, so we've got our NetSetGO portion. I'll go into the resource library. And then in our resource library under coaching, we've got our NetSetGO session plan. So hopefully, touch wood, this will direct me to the session plans. So scrolling down here, and we've got all our session plans here. So super, super valuable. And then you can just print them off, use them for your sessions. All right, hopefully that has shown you where they are. Let me know if so. Perfect. Yeah, awesome. Good point, Gabby. Well, we'll send out an email to everyone, but we've got a resource about how to access that Getting to Know NetSetGo module, just to help out the step-by-step of where to actually find it, since it is in that My Netball profile. We'll make sure to flick it everyone's way, including yourself, of course. No worries. Make sure I put it as a note.
I've written it down.
Cool. All right, feel free if you've got any questions to keep adding them in. If not, then feel free to contact us at another time, and we're more than happy to help you guys out.